Good afternoon and welcome to More Tea Minister. My name is Ian. Today we are going to be looking at a white tea, this one from Laos. This is some curious tea. It's Bolaven Nang Bua Saa Khav. I am sure I have butchered that pronunciation, but that is as good as it gets. I find it's a bit like pronouncing some of the more complicated names in the Old Testament. The trick is to have a look of confidence and just go for it. And you can always cough uncontrollably if you really don't have any confidence in the way you're pronouncing it. This tea is slightly different as a white tea. We've been trying white teas from different parts of the world. So we've had white tea from Sri Lanka and all kinds of other places. And now we're moving to Laos. This one's a little different in that it's a flavoured white tea. It's flavoured with a small amount of pandan leaf, and it's also made from buds. So I'm anticipating, depending on what kind of tea bud, I'm anticipating something slightly along the lines of the like a silver needles, but we'll see in two takes. So I'm very much looking forward to trying another white tea. I really do like white tea, and trying this one that's flavoured with pandan leaf. So we're going to take a look at the tea inside the packaging, and then we'll move on to a brewing and reviewing. See you in a moment. Here we are taking a close-up of the white tea from Laos. As I suspected, this is a silver needle tea, and I would hazard that this is an Assam varietal. It's got the sort of paleness and thin needles that we saw in one or two of the other ones, the Vietnamese tea in particular. So as much as I don't know for certain, I am going to guess that this is a Assam variety or a straight up Assamica that's been used to make these silver needles and this white tea. Let's move on to part 3. Hello and welcome to part 3 of our review of our white tea from Laos, a white tea flavoured with pandan leaf. To that end, I'm only going to brew this tea Western style. I often find that teas that have been flavoured in some way don't respond quite as well to gong fu, or at the very least you can't get quite as much out of them because there is that flavour overlaid on them. So what we have here is a pre-brewed and pre-strained pot of our white tea from Laos. We've got a small capacity drinking cup and our transparent jug for seeing the tea. No strainer because it's all been pre-brewed and pre-strained. So this is water at 80 degrees. 3 minutes of, I'm out of breath, you'd think I'd been running around. 3 minutes of steeping, 80 degrees. 2.5 grams of tea, 250 mils of water. Basically, as if I was making an exact cupful. So let's see what we've got. Incidentally, the dry leaf had a slightly cereally, slightly sweet kind of smell, almost a kind of marshmallow, slightly buttery quality, and I presume to an extent that comes from the pandan leaf. There's much the same on the cup, which makes me think that it is that overlaying flavour. There's a slight custardy, maybe, slight vegetal, slight custardy quality on the cup, on the jug from the tea rather than from the brewed leaf, the dried leaf. I'm all at 6s and 7s today. Let's see what this is like on the cup. Much the same, actually. Before I come to drinking it, let's have a look at the colour. You're seeing it pretty much as I am, a fairly standard white tea colour. Sort of slightly greenish yellow. Does that nice smell. Now, does it have any kind of viscosity? It's very slightly. Cheers. For all that is a fairly standard set of brewing parameters, it's got a strong taste. I wouldn't have expected a white tea at 80 degrees especially to be quite so strong. So I wonder how much of that is down to the pandan leaf. It's slightly bitter. It's got a nice mouthfeel. It's rich. I can't help feeling it might have benefited from a slightly hotter temperature because the flavour's dropping off quite quickly. On the other hand, that bitterness, I feel, would probably be quite strong if you bump the temperature up much more. It's an intriguing flavour. It's not, I'll be hand on heart, it's not something that I would rush to go back for. I've tried white teas, you've seen on this channel, for a few different white teas, but only one of the flavoured one. And that was meant to be not overpowering, but the white tea was meant to be a base. I'm not entirely sure whether the pandan leaf is meant to complement the white tea flavour or vice versa, but that slightly custardy, vegetally taste, especially when it's really quite bitter, I'm afraid that's not really my, it's not my bag, I'm afraid. Obviously, it's very easy to brew. Is it easy to get hold of? I have seen a few other teas. Bolaven is a plateau in Laos, and I've seen at least 2 other vendors selling teas from there. So whereas you might not get exactly this one flavoured with pandan, I have seen other white teas from Laos and from this particular area. So I'm afraid I can't give it my hearty recommendation. If you happen to like the taste of pandan leaf, and I don't know what specifically that taste is like, this might be for you. It's a slightly vegetal, sweet, almost custardy kind of tea. And if that's a flavour profile or scent profile that sounds intriguing, it might be for you. It's a little bit too bitter for me as well. So 1 and a bit out of 3, let's put it that way. So a nice short video. So all that remains for me to do is to say happy steeping and God bless.